Hi guys, welcome back to Sunday League to Champions League. My name is Chris, aka Big Will, and today we have a new club. A couple of teams actually came in for us. Gillingham and Sutton both got relegated from League One, and they were very interested in our services. Charlton, however, were going to be relegated from the Championship. Um, I decided to apply for it. I was a bit unsure where we could go with Taunton after the playoff defeat in the semi-final. Yes, we had a good squad, but the finances weren't stretched particularly well for us. So I didn't really know what we could and couldn't do with the squad. And to be quite honest, after how heavy the end of the season was, I felt that it was time for us to move forward and try and progress our career a little bit. After three very good seasons there, we have moved to Charlton Athletic. And many years ago, probably about what between 15 and 20 years ago, they were a Premier League side, Charlton Athletic, and they were a regular Premier League side at that. So they've got a decent bit of history in behind them, and having come down to League One, the season actually hasn't officially ticked over yet. We're toward the middle of June, if I remember rightly. Um, we also have a full transfer window with them and a full pre-season, so it was the right time to make the move in relation to where the season is. And I think overall it was the right time to take that step up. It's going to be a tough challenge, that is for sure. We've got a lot of good players at the club. A number of them are out of contract come the end of the season, when it officially finishes at the end of June, that is. So we've got some decisions to make, and we've got to do it quite quickly as well, because a number of the players, like I say, are out of contract in a couple of weeks' time. So we'll see how things are. I don't know how many of the players will want to leave anyway. Some of them will hopefully stay, but a number of them may want to leave following the relegation from the Championship. So a lot of work to do with the side, but certainly looking forward to the challenge. Um, you've probably already read this by now while I've been talking to you, but they've been relegated from the Championship after failing to win any of their last five games. Taunton will now be looking for a new manager. We weren't ever considered favourite for the job, but Charlton have taken a big step in appointing us as the new manager and face pressure to bring immediate success to the Valley, having stepped up from my previous role, which is fairly true. Charlton are a much bigger club than Taunton, not only in relation to where they are in the league setup, but in terms of reputation as well. As I was saying, they are a former Premier League side. So, media prediction is still showing for the championship, of course. So, there's a little bit to tick over, of course. So, it's going to be a little bit delayed with the way it catches up. But we've got good training facilities and good youth facilities and above average youth recruitment as well. So that is a side of the club that we could potentially look at as well. Staff is going to be another thing that we may need to improve. In terms of wage budget, we've got about 136,500 and a £3 million transfer budget as well. I think that's reasonably fair. Obviously, depending on what players leave, what players stay, etc., we'll have plenty to deal with in relation to budgets as well. So we could be in for a very busy transfer window. That's the initial first team that, in terms of the best 11 as such at the club at the moment, a number of players have already agreed to leave, which is a bit of a shame. And in terms of actual loan deals, there's a number of players that were in or out on loan. So again, plenty more decisions to make with the squad, but we'll see how things are when we look at it a bit closer. So the club wants to work within the wage budget, which is always fair enough, and grow the club's reputation. The only way we can do that is getting back into the championship, to be quite honest. They don't want us to sign anyone particularly old, maximum of 1 year contracts for players over the age of 33, 2 year contracts for over the age of 31. And they want us to record a League One top half finish, which I think is something that we can aim for. I think that's reasonably fair. And obviously, my contractual situation has changed dramatically as well. I was on about £500 a month at Taunton. We've gone up to 2.5 grand. So, it's a massive difference. And in terms of a reality situation, would be stupid not to take up such a big price raise in our wages. Um, Supporter culture is developed players using the club's youth system. It's fair enough. I'm pretty keen on that myself. Play defensively solid football and make the most of set pieces. Be competitive against Crystal Palace if we happen to play them. Charlton are a London-based side, of course, along with Crystal Palace, so that is fair enough. Forge a higher reputation than Millwall, which is a bit of a strange rivalry, but again, more toward the London base. And to record a League One top half finish. Schiller press conference with media. Yes, that is every month. That is fine. We'll confirm that. and Luke Chambers, Ben Watson, Stern Sefton, and Alex Cheshire have all left Taunton as well following my departure. So, review ongoing negotiations. What's going on here? Richard Bradis is a set piece coach currently being linked with Barnsley. We'll probably leave that as it is. To be honest, I want to bring in my own staff, and in terms of tactically, we'll have a look at that. And I'll probably play in a similar way to that we did against Taunton. Obviously, we have got better quality players, so we might tweak the system slightly to depending on how things go. They have a lot of players. I might add. Goalkeeper. I tell you what, let's have a look in the squad planner. Nope, we need to do a tactic first. So, looking at overall ability here, it's a good range to be fair. Got pretty good options in goal with Fabian Buntic, Harry Isted is there, and Ashley Maynard Brewer. Three solid keepers there. Prince Adegoke is also an option as well, 22-year-old Nigerian. He's very highly priced as well, I've just noticed. That is madness. Between £6 and £8 million. Considering we've got four good goalkeepers at the club, if we can get that kind of money for him, it would be a little bit stupid not to take it up. So Michael Hector, 33 years of age, he is one of the players out of contract. I think what it'll be easier to do is to look at the contract situation that way. Isted is actually out of contract as well, so Hector is there. Matthew Pennington, decent rated defender, 3-star current ability at the age of 31. Can play right back or centre back. Seems reasonably solid enough. Lloyd Jones, a 30-year-old defender. Again, he looks reasonably solid enough. 3-star of current ability. 30-year-old Terrell Thomas. He is out of contract at the end of the season. He is going. We're probably going to let him leave. He's only 2-star of current ability. Javier Benjamin, a 22-year-old. He will probably leave as well. Deje Elerui. He's out of contract at the end of the season as well. He could be a good option. He's got good potential, but he's only 2-star current ability, so I'll have to have a think on him. Cedal Torre, again out of contract at the end of the season, hasn't really done an awful lot to improve. Mason Hunter currently out on loan at Rochdale between 5.6 and £7.6 million for valuation. He's only 20. There's a couple of players here we could make pretty good money from. Let's be honest. David Danso, he's not of required quality really. He's under contract for a couple of years though, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. Josh Lecretabua, I mean, I can't even say his name. He's actually already leaving the club anyway. He's off to St Mirren on a free transfer. Tenai Watson, 29 years of age, right back. Again, out of contract at the end of June. Seems quite reasonable though. 2.5-star of current ability. Might be a player that we look to keep. Loic Nego, a 35-year-old. He's out of contract next season. He's 35 years of age. 3-star current ability. We'll have to reserve judgment on him. Tayo Eden, 28 years of age. Another left back. Also playing midfield. Decent quality again. 3.5-star current ability for him. James Furlong, another pretty good left back. 3.5-star current ability. And he's got a couple of years on his contract, so that's good to see. Can't get over how big this squad is. It's quite a sizable one. Nathan Asimwe is a right wing back, currently out of contract in June. He's only 20 though, good potential, 2-star current ability, potential option for extending his contract. George Dobson is wanted by other clubs. He's on big money as well. He's actually out of contract at the moment at the end of June, so we'll see what happens with him. But he's four-star current ability. He's the kind of player that we need to be keeping around the club. Jake Doyle-Hayes was in on loan, so that will probably finish there. Terry Taylor, again out of contract, 2.5-star current ability with a bit more potential. So again, not too sure what's going to happen with him. Aaron Henry, 22-year-old midfield player. He looks okay, but again, 2-star current ability. This is at championship level, of course. They may be rated slightly better with us being relegated, but it's not looking too promising at the moment. Scott Fraser, another highly valued player, around £6 million. Solid central midfielder at the age of 31. Finlay Robinson was in on loan from Dundee. And to be fair, he's not a bad player. He could be the type of player that we look at bringing in on a permanent basis. He's not bad at all. Ignacio Saavedra, a Chilean midfield player who's actually transfer listed. He's 3.5-star current ability. And he's the kind of player we should be trying to keep around, I think. But he is transfer listed at the moment. Ewan Williams will probably let him leave. He's not of the required quality. Likewise, Jason Adigan. Karoy Anderson, a couple of years contract for him again, worth about £6 million. We've got some good young players at the club, really. Tyrese Campbell, again, he looks, well, I mean, current ability, he says 3-star, so could be one to look at, but he's currently surplus to requirements, so we're going to have to jiggle things around a bit, I think, with this squad. Kai Enslin, out on loan at Mansfield at the moment. Again, not lighting things up at the moment. Alfie May, 32-year-old striker. He looks pretty decent, to be fair. 3.5-star of current ability. He's slightly concerned. He wants to leave because of the club being relegated, which is fair enough. He's actually out of contract at the end of the month, which could be a bit of a loss, really, because I think with an extra year's contract, he could be worth a decent amount of money. Nikola Iliev is leaving permanently for CSKA Sofia. Tolu Ladapo, he's definitely going to be leaving. Henrik Ryler, he's got a year left on his contract, young Jamaican. Decent finisher, good amount of pace, but I don't know if he'll have the required quality, but we'll keep an eye on him as well. Miles Lieburn, he's a striker, isn't he? 22 years of age, 6'5", quick, good finisher. Yeah, we need to build the team around this lad. But he wants to leave because we've been relegated. Juventus and Roma want him. What a strange transfer that'd be. We certainly want more than 3.5 million for him, though, to be honest. Daniel Kanu, again, a couple of years on his contract. He's not great. I can see why they've been relegated from the Championship, to be fair. There's good starting 11, but they're lacking the depth and quality, unfortunately. And Patrick Casey, good amount of pace, decent finisher, likes the work rate, 2-star current ability. I think there's going to be a number of players that will go out on loan, to be fair, as well. Some very good youngsters coming through, 2-star of current ability there for some of these young players. I mean, let's have a look at some of these. So, Aidan Linus, I mean, 18 years old, Scottish striker. I think, to be honest, some of these 2-star players could come into the senior team, to be quite honest, just to fill a couple of gaps in the meantime. But we've got some good young players here. Henry Molyneux, who was on loan at Eastleigh, who, of course, we actually played against him on a number of occasions. Francis Okoronkwo, 2-star current ability. He lacks the potential, to be fair. Edgar Polido, again, good amount of pace for a striker, but I mean, we've got some good potential players here. It has to be said, he looks good, doesn't he? Danny Carver, a left back. I think a couple of these players are certainly going to be in and around the first team, if for nothing else, just to give us a little bit of depth. And they may be able to get chances for themselves. But Aidan Linas definitely could be coming into the senior side this season. And yeah, I think Danny Carver, I think it's fair to say he probably will as well. Edgar Polido, I'm not too sure, just off the bat with him. And then looking at the under-18 squad, Josh Blakesley looks pretty sharp. He's a right winger. He's not the quickest, but he's got good passing ability, good determination, exciting type player as well, good amount of flair as well. So not too sure what's up with his face. He looks a bit frightening, to be fair. But he's only 15. He could be a very good player. Aaron McColgan needs to do a lot of improvement before he comes into the squad. But I mean, the club want us to use the youth players, and we've got an opportunity that we can. So that is a positive in itself, really. Just gotta keep an eye on everybody. Wow, Simone Schettino, who's an Italian central midfield player. His passing ability is not great, unfortunately, but his mental attributes look very good, actually, to be fair. And his physicals aren't too bad either. So he could be a player to keep an eye on also. He can also play at right back. So a bit of a utility type player. Another one to keep an eye on. Some very good young players coming through here. And I think we've landed on our feet, really. Yes, there's a lot of work to do with the squad in relation to contracts and hoping that some of them will stay. But, you know, they need to thin out the squad as well. So, I mean, looking at the goal scoring for last season, Leeburn only got 13 goals, and Alfie May got 13 goals as well. And both of them played pretty much every match for them last season. So, not too much in the way of rotation by the looks of it either. A little bit in midfield, but other than that, not an awful lot. A lot of substitute appearances for a number of these players. So, it'll be interesting to see what we do in the transfer market. Again, not completely sure what direction we'll go in. Finances of the club, as I was saying, £3.2 million in our budget. They're currently spending 185,000 in wages. Committed spending of 131,000. That is remarkable amounts of money. So we might not be able to do too much business in relation to that, but we'll have to keep an eye on how this goes. Committed spending of 131, but currently spending 185,000. Not too sure how that works out, but again, we'll have to see what happens from there. It could be that there are relegation wage drop clauses in players' contracts. In terms of debts and loans, no debt. £85,000 of transfer debt. That is very refreshing to see. In terms of the projection, we're looking at making a bit of a loss as things go forward, but only by a couple of 100,000 a year. So if we manage finances carefully, I think we'll be pretty decent, in all honesty. We've got to make the right kind of signings, and I think we've got to get a decent amount of staff in as well. We've managed to keep a number of the staff. Richard O'Donnell's still here. Ed Vahid is the head of youth development, and he's a very good one, I might add, as well. Stephen Henderson is a goalkeeping coach. We definitely need a new keeping coach, I think, and a new set piece coach, maybe a new fitness coach. And yeah, I think it's just fine tuning. I mean, you look at the quality of coaching ability in relation to the championship, we actually had the worst. So yeah, we've got work to do in terms of the staff as well, but there's certainly signs for optimism here. And once we've made some final decisions on the squad, I think we'll be able to really settle into a rhythm potentially. Like I say, a number of players transfer listed, a couple of players here leaving as well. We need to really sort the squad out. Tayo Eden wants to leave as well due to us getting relegated. We could get some big fees in for some of these players as well, which will certainly help matters. Scott Fraser as well, he might want to leave. So we've got things to think about. Corey Anderson wants a new contract. So yeah, a lot to look at. And obviously, we'll have to decide tactically what we're going to do as well. Obviously, with Alfie May leaving, it leaves us with Leeburn as the main striker at the moment. But again, he also wants to leave, and he's wanted by some big clubs. So we'll have to see how things go. If we can make some big money on these players and get some free transfers in quality of free transfers in to replace them, we could be having a very profitable summer. But a lot to do in the meantime. And in terms of squad dynamics, team cohesion is quite good. Obviously, atmosphere is average. Managerial support isn't great because obviously I've only just signed. But Eden, Fraser, May, Leeburn, Buntich all want to leave because we've been relegated. Anderson wants a new contract, which is good because he's one of the best players at the club. And Iliev is unhappy to be transfer listed. So I can take him off the transfer list. That isn't a problem. And I mean, he's leaving anyway, to be honest. But we'll have to see what the players want to do. Obviously, after a bit of time, they may want to stay for a year to see how we get on. But there's a lot of other things to consider there. And club vision, obviously, we've gone through as well. And general club info, I mean, 27,000 capacity stadium as well. We've gone from a 4,000 seater to a 27,000 capacity. It's a huge, huge increase, obviously, from my point of view, for the reputation of this club and for the hardships they've been under for the last 10, 15 years or so. It is a little bit harsh. I mean, if you look at the history, they came out of the Premier League in 2006, 2007. They've never got back. They had a couple of relegations here and there and a couple of promotions. They've kind of yo-yoed a little bit, but unfortunately, it's just not fully happened for them, which is a shame. And they've never reached the heights of the Premier League again. So certainly big targets from our point of view, but obviously not a lot of history behind them either. One League One title, one Championship title, one FA Cup, two Third Division South titles, which I'm assuming is quite a way down the footballing pyramid. And they haven't actually won a title since, well, they won League One in 2012 and they won the Championship in 2000. So it's been, what are we in now, 2026. So it's 15 years since they won League One. And looking at everything else, we've got an opportunity to create some history at this football club. And hopefully we can get off to a good start, which will be in tomorrow's episode. There's a lot to get through in the meantime, of course. Got a lot of transfer information to get through. And obviously schedules haven't been confirmed for next season yet, but you can see. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what tactic they were playing. We'll just pick this out in the meantime. They were doing a back seven with two up front, and it's obviously not worked. I mean, not no win in their last five doesn't really tell the full story. They managed to win against Coventry and Lincoln and Plymouth and Swansea. So that's 4 wins. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 2 draws. So in 16 games, they won 4. Make that in 21 matches, they won 5, 4. No, they still won 4, sorry. So, you know, the way that they've fallen out of favour this season, they didn't score enough goals. I mean, all of January, 1-0, 1-0, 1-1, 1-0 defeat, 1-1 again. So, goal scoring, believe it or not, has been the problem. But with a flat back seven, creativity will be at a minimum. So we'll have to see what we can do about that. I think we've done well here. I think we've landed on our feet, and there's exciting times ahead. It's going to be difficult to get out of League One. We've got a lot of changes to make to the squad, I think. And if we can keep one or two of the key players, I think we could be fine. But if not, and we sell them for big money, then we can restructure the financial state of this football club, which will be a bonus in itself anyway. So, a lot to get through. I will see you guys tomorrow, and hopefully we will have a successful transfer window and get off to a good start. So until then, guys, thank you very much for your support. Please like, subscribe to the channel. It is all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.